Welcome to the GLAC Studio. This is Gomathi, Siva, Sankaran, founder, CEO of the Guiding Light Art Company, building bright futures through art. Today, in the season 2, ninth episode of the GLAC What Next series, Change Management in Practice, we are going all the way to Australia to meet a dynamic personality that has embraced change so happily all the time, whether it's her personal life or her career. Let's meet SUKRUTI Narayanan. Director Business Growth and PR of an OTT platform by name MeTV Australia. SUKRUTI Narayanan, welcome to the GLAC What Next series, Change Management in Practice. I'm so happy to be interviewing you. We had so much fun even in the first call, first ever meeting. So I'm just looking forward to having so much fun in the call with you. Before I get on to all the questions, I would like you to open up the floor and just tell about yourself and what you're doing. How did you get to what you're doing today?
Whoa, okay. So, Gomathi, firstly, wishing you all a Merry Christmas. Yes, we're recording this on a Christmas.
Yes.
So, how exciting. And I was just telling Gomathi, with the current situation, like with Omicron and everything, we felt, I was actually watching Harry Potter, and I felt, you know what? I think, it's good to have that reflection time and to, understand yourself, to read about your journey before you enter your, the next big year. So thank you so much, Gomathi, for having me. And this is a special interview, I would say, because Christmas, like normally, if it's holiday time, we just go partying. Like, we are just so social, and I never thought I'll be reflecting on my journey on this particular day. So.
Awesome, yeah.
So, okay. To answer your first question, what I'm currently doing is I am the director for public relations and for business growth for MeTV. It is an Australian-based media. Started 5 years ago, and initially it was started to connect with the South Asian audience, and then a year before, what we did, that's when I joined as well. A little before that, before I joined, the founder, Mr. Srihari Kamineni, he felt, yes, it is good to connect with South Asian audience, but we should expand. So that's how we started our OTT platform. It is called the MeWorld. So it is a OTT app, which is similar to your Netflix or like your Amazon Prime, I can call. But the big difference is we just don't, do content dumping. Like, it's not just about movies or about your web series, but it is engagement with the audience globally. And I felt the reason why I'm here, like, I have done various things, which, I'm sure you'll have questions for that. And, I would talk about my journey, being into multiple things. I felt this as a very, a responsible position for me, because with media, it is a powerful tool. It is a two-edged sword. You could do a lot of things with that, and especially, positives is what I felt was the need of the hour. And especially me being an immigrant here, like planning to settle here, we've applied for citizenship. So it is a little different environment altogether. We have
Mm,
all the question when it is back in India, it's totally different. But
mm.
in a different country, when you take up this leadership positions, and when you do things like that, I felt, yeah, it's challenging. Let's do it.
Mm.
And life without spice. So that's where we thought we would do this, and a lot of exciting activities going on, which I'll share. I'll let you know what you would have discovered by now. I can go on and on.
I can sense that, you are a vibrant person, and you have definitely attracted this, fantastic role, and molded yourself in this a new world, created a world for yourself. Is it called Me World?
Yeah. Oh yes. I didn't realize that actually.
Creating a, I mean, this is what I'm someone who thinks of, the cosmos and how you attract what you. So when I meant attract, this is what I meant. You just created your me world. Hmm? Uh, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I never thought about that, and I would take it back to my founder and say, hey, you know what? This is what I learned from the show. That's so true. So true.
Awesome. But that's how I see it, because I'm also an immigrant living in Denmark, so I do relate to this understanding of the challenges of having to move to another country. It's not necessarily a pressure on us, thank God, because I have seen people who are having to move because of some war or some other challenges in their own country. So thankfully, we had to move for other reasons, but still adapting to another country and the lifestyle and so on has its own challenges. So to create your own world in another place is something amazing, and that's exactly why I was curious to know more about you. So before an Indian girl goes to Australia to build her me world, what was she all about? How did you start? What was your career like? What did you study?
Wow. Okay. That is a tricky question because, okay, the way I start is not like, that I've not studied anything. Yes, I have my graduation, I have my master's, and I'm still, studying at the moment. But I would say, one thing that fascinated me to come to the show was like, you were talking about the change space. And I would say, once I heard about the change space, I said I would definitely, fit in there because my life was about change all the time. Because what I studied, I did my engineering into electrical and electronics, and yes,
An engineering graduate, yes.
I didn't
Okay.
stop there. Okay, then I thought, yes, having studied engineering, of course, you need to stick to your core because normally back in India, we have all the IT giants. Doesn't matter whether you've done your engineering or whatever degree, you'll have the IT companies being really kind to give us a job opportunity, and people lose track because job is a job, let's take it. And what does someone having studied digital circuits and machines have to do with coding? But yeah, we adapt change so well, right? And I didn't want to adapt change. I was so rigid back then. I'm like, hey, I've studied engineering, that too with electrical and electronic space, and I was looking for a job. And I started working when I was in college itself.
Okay.
So I used to do coding. It was a company called Simple Labs, and I went there as an intern. First, I went there for learning, and then once I finished my, coding, my certification, and all, I said, hey, I would like to volunteer. I would just like to, work here. And I would say the founder was really kind. He said, okay, why not? And he said, how can you make it? I said, give me an opportunity, and that's what I need. I started coding. I started teaching people, and that was a tricky phase because back in 2000, mid 2000 or late 2000s, when I said I'm coding a robot, people would ask like, "What is it?" And I would say, "Well, it's a quad bot. Well, it's a hex bot, and all that." And they'll be like, "Oh, are you making a toy walk? Are you doing a toy?" I'm like, "No, it's not a toy." It was quite hard, and in Simple Labs, I was the only girl there. And I felt, okay, so what? Like, I never felt out of place because wherever like I went, I was the only girl. But I thought, okay, doesn't matter. And I couldn't see that actually. Only later in life did I see that, oh, okay, I was the only girl. Because I never felt that, that need to distinguish the gender. So yeah, I finished. Then I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do next? I finished my graduation, and I didn't get any core, or I didn't look for any, core electrical electronics companies. I was just looking for them. I didn't have an opportunity, and I didn't chase anything. So I ended up starting my own NGO into robotics and AI space. And yeah,
Wow.
we'll talk about it. Coming questions, and then from there, I was running that for 5 years as a president and as a co-founder trustee. And then my mentors, like, I should say my mentor was super kind in molding me. The public speaking and everything like was because of my mentor. Like, he's Mr. Prime Point Srinivasan. And my first assignment with him was, he said, we have an event with the governor. So all you have to do is we're going to release this book, launch this book. So I want you to keep the laptop open. And when we say, please go to the stage, and he will press the button. And I was like, yeah, all excited. And he told, it's the time we had MC announcing and all that. I went there, I opened. And it was Mr. Rosaya, then he was the then governor, and he asked which button should I press. So I was like, please hold and press this. And when I was pressing this, that was when the photo was taken. And my mentor was like, I gave you one job to make the governor inaugurate, and now you make the governor hold the laptop and you inaugurate stuff. That's how the whole thing started. and it's been like over a decade now. He's been super kind. So I felt very guilty that no, that was not what I meant to do. But then, he started, he's like, okay, then you know what? I want you to anchor this event. I want you to be MC. And a lot of things, little did I know that that's going to help me at all. Because he would just put me there being an MC, like, till date, I would have done over 700 shows, events, live shows, everything put together. And that was never my... I don't know, it just came my way and I took it. And if I turn back, I'm like, yeah, I host my own shows. I work for media and that's what I do. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. So next phase was always my mentor kept telling I was good at public relations PR. So I'm like, okay, what is this PR? So I thought, okay, after 5 years of running my NGO, I thought, okay, let me settle down. And it was time for me to settle down. It's not like I decided, my mom, like my family was like, no, it's time. So yeah, I thought, okay, now it was time to move to Mumbai after my marriage. And while we were chatting, my husband was very keen with moving to Sydney. I don't know, he came to Sydney in 2013 and that was his love there. Like, he's like, I love this place. I said, okay, why not? Because I didn't want to be, too close with my choices, because I started my NGO. I know I can run it from anywhere. So I said, okay, why not? Let's go. And that's when I thought I was in Mumbai. And when my mentor said about public relations, I'm like, I don't know what public relation means. Maybe I'll study. So I did my master's in public relations and applied communication. And okay, it was interesting. I was like, oh, this is called public relation. And oh no, like my mentor said, I have a flair for it because I love talking. I have no inhibitions, and if I find myself in awkward situations, I would laugh at myself and say, "Oh, how stupid!" And this was something I learned when I was a child. I was never like that. Very sensitive child, very introvert, and even if someone in my family, my mom, she just pulls my leg in front of all people, and I'll be very shy. I will not even want to see their face again. So I would say that is where, and it happened again and again and again and again. So talking about change, I would say it started there in the family. So I used to cry that, oh my God, how is she's making fun? How will I see these people again? I would hate her. I would not want to show my face. Then one day I realized, this is kind of bullying by your own parents. So it is going to continue happening. So I have a choice either to always cry, and everyone is laughing and I'm crying, and this doesn't fit in well. So then I thought, you know what, I'm going to start laughing. Yeah, you're going to make fun of me. Let me enjoy. Let me laugh. Now people are confused. Wait a minute. Am I making fun of her, or is it someone else that I'm making fun of? She's laughing. And then they started calling me a sport. And I said, yeah, I'll take it. So that was another change in transformation. So I did my PR, and yeah, that really broke my inhibition or feeling shy or like, what will others think? Yes, we all have a lot of things to think, and I'm sure people will think nice things about me. Just came to my head, you know. It was like, yeah, I'll ensure that people think nice things about me. It was something that just, you know, maybe PR.
Okay.
Lately, I realized that really late, and then while doing that, I got an opportunity, you know, to volunteer at ABC. It was the All India Business Communicators event, and that's where I met one of the founders of World Communication Forum. And that happened there. Like, she was a woman. I don't know. Maybe that's PR skill again. I just felt like I got connected to her. I said, I'm meeting her for the first time, and there was a big gala event. So I felt, you know what? Maybe I would like to, you know, give her a sari so that she could wear that for the event. And I draped the sari. I myself, I don't want to wear sari. If you know, Anna is watching it, sorry, Anna, I'm telling it now. I do not wear sari back then, but now I do. But somehow I draped her like a doll, and she was so pretty. And yeah, you know, she fitted so well in my blouse. Yes, my blouse and my sari. Yeah, it just clicked. And then one day she pings me and asks, hey, would you like to work for me? Of course, it's based in Geneva, and you'll have to travel to, you know, Geneva in March. She asked me in 2017 March, I had to travel to Geneva. She said, I'll take care of your expenses. I'm going to pay you for this and all that. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. Is this really true? Like, is it happening? So that's where, you know, public relations, I went there, met amazing people, you know, in that journey. And then after March, this happened in March. We are at the United Nations. We are at CERN. Like, it was amazing. I'll talk more about it. And after that, in April, we moved to Sydney. And super excited, like with my NGO, like, yeah, I've won a lot of accolades and awards and Young Visionary Award, this, that, whatnot. And with World Communication Forum, I was producer for the Startup Day, and I was super excited. Come on, like, I was giving my speeches. It was exciting. So I thought, okay, I'm here in Sydney now. Okay, you know, we're gonna have some interesting stuff. That was a big turn in my story where, yeah, you have an amazing profile, Suk, but you don't have local experience.
No.
From one person, I was like, okay. Now, another person. I heard that from dozens of people, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. If you don't give me experience, how am I going to get it? It's like a chicken egg situation. I'm ready to volunteer, and it actually, you know, it. When you move to a country, that's when I realized that it tests your, you know, inner strength and what you're made of. And there were doubts of, wait a minute, maybe I was surrounded by amazing people, and maybe I'm nobody. Maybe I have no talent. I was, you know, bullshitting all the time. I don't have the thing that it takes to win. I was lucky. That always kept, you know, coming in my mind. Maybe I was lucky. Maybe, you know, people were very kind. I'm not that person. Yes, I reached out to 500,000 students back in India with my NGO. I did a lot of stuff, but I'm like, maybe it's because of my mentors, the people around me. I need support, right? I'm like, right from like scientific advisor to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was in an advisory board. You know, having person like, you know, Kalam sir as a mentor. I was like, okay, done, finished. You know, we are not good enough. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? I don't have the skills now. That fear starts sinking in, and I was at home actually. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Like, okay, where do I start? You know, what are the skills I have? Sometimes we are scared to break things down.
Good point. Yeah.
Right? Suddenly everything is clouded, and I'm like, okay. So I was running my NGO. I've never worked for a corporate, to be honest, and how do I fit in? And I was scared of that system. Because when you run something, you're your own boss. And sometimes you think you're not good enough. we're always, we are in the thought of, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. We don't break things down on what we know, what our
Mm,
strengths are. And then it took a long time. I wouldn't say it happened instantly. It was a strong battle. It was a big battle, long
mm,
battle myself on what do I know. And then I realized, wait a minute, if you don't know something, it's a matter of picking it up and learning it. It's not
mm.
very difficult. And in this process, I ended up acting in a movie, a Telugu movie. Like, seriously, I said, okay, why not? I was part of Change the Rules movement, where it is for equal pay or pay rise for the unions for people working here. And there was
Mm,
one person who was like, hey, I was there in the front, in the campaigns and all that. I don't know. It happened that I was in the front row. I was with the president of the council and of trade unions and all. I had one person directly, no matter what I post in Facebook, she'll just attack me. And she'll say,
mhm,
hey, you're not even part of any union. And what are you doing? I didn't know to answer back saying, hey,
mm,
you can't even give me a job. And still I'm
mm.
fighting for you guys who are working. I didn't know. I didn't have the audacity to say that. I was really like, oh, okay, maybe, okay. I just sidelined. I just, went behind the scenes and didn't know what to do. And because of all this, I had an opportunity to meet the former Prime Minister of Australia, Honorable Kevin Rudd. And that is where I met this cinema crew. And we just started, they took a photo of me, and I was like, yeah, I've hosted a lot of stuff. And they're like, okay. And he took my number. He said, I'll give you the photo. He gave me the photo. And he said, are you interested? We auditioned a lot of people. We think you might fit in well. Are you interested? I said, why not? Because I'm not doing anything. I said, yeah, I'll come. And that's how we started for a movie, acted for a movie, and definitely acting. No,
Mm.
it's so different. And do the same thing like 8 times in different angles, and I'm not that person. My husband came along with me too, and he was like, oh my god, my first scene was, I just had to nod my head like this 8 times in different, like they will shoot from different directions. And he was like, he was bored to death. He was like, seriously? Is that what? I said, okay, I've given my name. Like, I don't want to back out. But yeah, I did have dialogues and all that. It was fun. I
Mm,
learned a lot about myself. I learned what I would like because even back in India, I got opportunities for movies. But my mom was like, no, no politics, no movies. That was something. But then again, when I got it, my great grandmom, I would
mm.
say I never expected her to adopt change for her age, which was like 98 back then. She's gone
Ah,
through, and everyone was shocked because the reason everyone told go ask your great grandmom is she's very old. She's going to say no, but
usually that's the answer that you can expect from them, yeah.
she's very old. A old person said no, you can't do it. They didn't
Okay.
expect that she would say yes and go for it. Now they're like, are you out of your mind? I said, she's a very old person. She's told yes, I have to do it, and that's how I entered. And yeah, it was a different experience. Learned a lot. I would say every journey, like every single thing, right, that we do every day, it teaches us a lot. And if I don't call this as a change, I don't see what I will call as change because it's drastic for me in my life.
I think it is drastic for every listener also. They'll
Right.
be like going wild. What person are we talking about today and what am I listening
I,
to?
she one person. Yeah, I'm whole, one person by myself. And then I got the confidence, and I felt okay. Doesn't matter, what kind of a job. Let me go and apply. And this is an interesting story because I found this job ad in Facebook, and
Mm-hmm.
it was more about understanding purchase intents of, like, it is like your what do you call it, the telephone
Mm.
telemarketing, but understanding purchase intent. And I said, okay, it's just an opening, like I just need it. And there were like about 83 applicants, or like there were a lot of applicants, and this is a very renowned US based company. And normally people from different parts of the world
Mm.
who come to Australia, they like this kind of a role, and they do it. And I thought, okay, let me. It was a fluke. I was really frustrated. I said, hey, I need this job, and I had the manager. Said, okay, I'm going to call you on Wednesday. I said, okay. Then I started. meanwhile, I used to teach Hindu scripture to the school children, like, when you're by school and all. So that was fun. I used to do that. And on my way back, I got a call. Like I said, I think it was like 12 o'clock or something in afternoon. They said they're going to call me. I was running late. I came home. I ended up, opening the door of another house with my key. I thought it was my floor, but I was one floor below. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't open my house. And this person called me. I said, you know what? I can't open my house. I'll call you back. And I was like, what is it? What is happening? And then I realized, okay, it's not someone else's house. So I went home, and this was a conversation I had with this person. I was like, can you believe it? I opened another house. He's like, hey, thank God it's not US, because you might have someone with a gun, and what if you were shot? And all these things. I'm like, yeah, it's good.
And is that the interview?
Yeah, that was supposed to be an interview, but this was a conversation we had. Right? And yeah, and he said, are you sure you want to do this? I said, why not? He said, I looked at your profile, and anybody would give you a red carpet welcome. I said, ideally, yes, but you know what? I've heard of people say I had no local experience, and now are you going to say this? I'm overqualified for this job. If you don't want to give me a job, please don't give me a job. I'm tired of it, because I was honestly tired. Climbing the stairs, it was a shocker for me. And he said, hey, if you are okay, I would say it is jackpot for us. All good. You just joined. And
so the interview is done.
Yeah, it's done.
Breaking into another person's house. I'm sorry. I'm just forgetting that I'm interviewing you.
I think, for a telephonic role, they wanted to understand, how, I could converse. And with me, I can converse over anything. You give me, I can converse over nothing. Right? So it's like, okay, sure, I could do it. And he asked, when do you want to join? That day was a Wednesday. I said, what about tomorrow? He said, oh, this is so quick. I said, oh, you mean to say you're going to take a month? I don't have that. He said, no, we'll do it on Monday. Does that sound good? I said, okay, I don't mind. When do you want me to come? And after I went to the office, people were like, you know what? We always have interviews here, and you're the only person, like, directly, without doing a face-to-face, you select. And I'm like, wow, okay. I just love the job. And again, for me, I saw this as an opportunity where people in my family or anybody, right, they were like, oh, this is a call center job. You were running your own show. You employed so many people. So it doesn't matter, because all I need is an opening. And it is important. Like, opportunity is an opportunity, and a role or a title, it really doesn't matter. Because I felt if a person is capable, no matter which role it is, no matter what the title is, we could make a difference. And if we make a difference, we're not making a difference for someone else. It is just for ourselves, so that we grow up. We feel even more confident, and accepting change started back then. And okay, so I go for this job, and all we are expected to do is like 6 qualified surveys every day, and normally people do 3, 4. And on my best day, I ended up doing 16. And people around me are like, hey, don't do that. This is not right, because, we are not able to. I'm like, no, it's fun. And within a month, I got promoted. I went to a permanent role. So this was kind of a casual role. And within a month, I got to a permanent role. And again, change was something, I learned something about change there, because this was a associate customer success manager. And my expectation was I'll be talking a lot to people, and that was what, the job required. But little did I know that I will have documentation, I'll have paperwork, I'll have all the nitty-gritties to do.
Yeah.
I have never filled my PR application form, nothing to my passport, nothing. I'm like, you can do it, you can do it. And I've been like that. And when I asked questions, it was hard for the people as well, because they just adored me. They saw me perform in another team. They wanted me as a permanent staff. But little did I know, it was a completely, yes, I was okay, because opportunities look like, wow, it's a permanent role. Yeah, let's take it. But there was something that didn't fit my personality, but still I did experiment that. And I had 3 months probation. And I would say 1 week before the probation, I was called, and the managing director said, you're an amazing asset to any company that you go. But unfortunately, for this role, your skill sets doesn't match. I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, I couldn't control. I was like, okay, so like, can I go back to the other role? But they're like,
Mm,
no, we filled three extra people because you left. We filled three people there.
mm,
So I'm like, okay, what do I do? They said, okay, we'll give you 1 week of paid. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks of
mm.
paid leave. You can find a job by then. Oh my god, that day I was crying in the road. I didn't know how to process it. I'm like, I didn't ask for that new role. They gave me. I took it. So maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should have not progressed. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I have no idea. Again, back to square one. It was just less than 3 months. I was super happy. I performed. All I needed was, opportunity. And here we are again. And I was crying. And I called my husband. I said, hey, yeah, let's talk. Like, yeah, let's go out for dinner. And I was in almost like I was crying, half crying. It's like I got fired
Mm.
immediately. This guy said, "Okay, let's go to Darling Harbour." We got like 2 pints of beer, and he says, "Cheers." No one in our family has ever got fired, and you've added that, privilege point to us. And I'm like, I've never failed in anything for records. I've always exceeded. I've always been like, back in school and college, I love sports. And
Mm.
being number one is something that excites me all the time.
Mm.
And I love playing, I love it's not for a medal or recognition or something, but sports teaches you a lot of things. When you
Mm.
fall, you come back. And there was a time I got the best outgoing student award in my college, and I got about
Mm.
13 medals at a row for like volleyball, for table tennis, for a lot of things. And I had the chief guest asking,
Mm.
seriously, and I remember I gave one of the medals to my friends because she was not part of any sport, but she thought it'll be good if she had a medal. And out of 13, I gave one to her, saying, okay, feel happy, go tell your mum even you participated and you won.
Mm.
So having these things, when I lost, I really felt, oh my God, that is done. I'm useless now. Now it is Agmark, like you have that seal. Initially, I
Mm.
had a doubt that okay, I've never worked in a corporate. I had all these feelings, but this time it is a stamp. Completely
The
sealed
confirmation that
that
at
yeah,
least you perceive it that way. Mm.
I'm like, okay, so what do we do? Then my husband was like, hey, you know what? You have 2 weeks of paid thing. They take it as a challenge and start applying. And yeah, I applied. Like, what I would do is every day, first thing in the morning, yes, start applying, tuck, 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 apply. And they will say, unfortunately, no, 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 no. One of them found it fascinating. She said, okay, there would be and again, they were an agency. So she
Mm.
said, I would like to meet you. And the day I went to meet her was when my great grandmom, like, she passed away. And I was like, she was 99. I thought it'll be great if she hit a century, but yeah,
Mm.
that's okay, that's fine. Her mum lived for
God bless her.
107 actually. Yeah.
Mm.
And I thought, should I go for this interview? I feel so heavy. I feel so bad. Then I thought, you know what? She would feel proud. She's been an iron lady there. So let me go for let me talk to the agency. So when I told them this, they were like, oh, Suk, you're super strong and look at you. I said, I don't know. I derive strength from my great grandmom, maybe. And they said, sure. I'll arrange an interview for you with other place and let's do it. And
Mm.
okay, it was Optus. It was one of the largest telco providers in Australia. Again, it was a telephone. It was more into a sales consultant job. It was more
Mhm.
into selling and all. And yes, I thought, okay, let me take it. And people were not again happy in the family. And I'm like, you know what? This is an opportunity to now. It was to kind of convince myself that okay, I am capable. I'm not like I'm nothing, right? So I was like, okay, let me take it. And just that opportunity, we had an interview, and I feel sometimes we just need that opening. And now I have a lot of experience backing me, and I desperately wanted just to understand what I'm made of. So I got selected, and yes, long journey, but I got to be number one for Sydney Melbourne sales. So there were about like 130. And normally, what happens is every day you have people going up and down.
Mm.
And that. But for one whole month, I was steady at top. I was about like 196 to 200% to target. And then I joined into, okay, that was when I thought, okay, I'm doing this all good. But is my life going to end as a telesales agent? I didn't know that trajectory in the company. So I thought, okay, let me start off. and I started studying law. And when everything happened, that was when I got promotion in the company as a sales coach, changing service department people into sales.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, like five of us were selected. We had our training, all that we went. And everyone had 10, 15 people, 10 people, 10 to 12 people that they were training. For me, I had 4 people, out of which 2 people come at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They set their desk and I leave by 4:30. They take their break by then. I went to my manager and I said, is this a joke? I thought I got a promotion and I'm training 4 people, out of which 2 come so late, 2 not here half the time. I said, I can't be nobody just come to work. Because even like when I was in another role, I used to culture manager, do some fun activities, bring that element. And people used to be like, why are you doing all this? You're wasting your time. And I'll be like, why not? If I keep the atmosphere around me happy, it's a good thing, right? And I would naturally feel happy. I'll be in the atmosphere to come to work every day. And it actually worked because, people started noticing it and it came. It just, again, PR. I didn't know. Now I realize, okay, this is PR. Making someone's life pleasant, happy, easy. Some people think even smiling is a, big favor that they're doing to others. But you're not doing a favor to others by smiling. You're being lazy. Like when you smile, you're relaxing yourself. If you keep your muscles turned, that is when you're doing hard work. So I like being lazy. I always like smiling.
That's a very interesting interpretation.
I I saw that, I learned it. I'm like, okay, I didn't know that, and that's good because doesn't matter what kind of expressions you give, things are going to be the way they are. So at least if you smile, you have a breathing time. People see why she's smiling, and they don't attack you immediately, right? If you have a fierce face, then it's a battle, it's a rally. When you smile, people get confused. Why is she smiling? So this is another change. So this happened, and I would say. Training service professionals to sales. My manager was kind enough. He said, be careful, you will get what you ask. I said, yeah, that's a good thing. Why not? And it took me to a flow of like 80 plus people who like sales conversations, who came only for service and who would see me like, what the hell, what are you doing here? And every day I was the only person for 80 people. You asked for it and you got it. Now manage. I don't know what you're going to do. And I'm like, okay, this is much better than doing nothing because all I need is opportunity. So changing that mindset of people, that was, I didn't know it happened. And then I realized that when you have to change the entire room, change the mindset of the entire crowd, I would say fighting, like just pick that 1 or 2 who have that smiling face, who connect with you. And once you bring that change, like because people are scared of change because they feel they don't want to make themselves look stupid. They don't want to, they don't want others thinking, oh, you're dumb. That is the main reason. Like that change brings that fear. Oh, what if I can't learn quickly? Oh, right? These are the things. That's what I discovered with change. And people would be like, no, I don't want to do it. I'll be like, why don't you want to do it? No, I'm not interested. This is not what I signed for. Then I would be like, you signed up to make a customer's life beautiful. So people are there in very old plans, paying much higher prices. And if you're just going to bring their price down, is it a sales or a service? Or it is service. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Because it is a sale, why would you take that as a sale? So then I realized changing the perspective, and different things stick different people, right? So when I told you of them that, hey, okay, you don't like to do sales, all that is good. I'll teach you certain skills. It is free, right? I've done these stuff like everywhere around the globe. I'll teach that for free, and you can add it to your resume. You're not going to stick. You're not going to stick to one. Like normally, what happens is people think they're going to stick to a place for their entire lifetime. For me, I realized that no, I don't know where I'm going to be the next moment. So that's where wherever I am, I try to pick those skills, because we are in certain position in life for a reason. And if we fail to learn that skill at that spot, I'm very
Mm,
sure you've been in a spot where we should have learned that skill, and that is where you make yourself look stupid, because I had that opportunity, then damn, I didn't do it. So you would
mm,
curse yourself. So I would say, like, instead of sitting simply, like, it's going to take the same effort. Like for me,
mhm,
Harry Potter now, and I was in, what was that, Goblet of Fire. So watching the same thing and remembering, oh yeah, what was there in the book, is the same effort to, I would say this is more blissful, having a chat
mm.
with you and reflect on the journey. So we have to take that choices. And anyways, anything is hard work, right? No matter
Mm.
what. Sitting simply is hard work. When a thought comes to your head, go away, I don't want to do it. That also takes hard work to push all the thoughts away and sit stubborn that I'm not going to do anything. That is also a hard. Instead of that, better, do things, push it off the way, so that you are known as, you know action person. You're seen as a catalyst driving all the changes. Change is
Mm,
painful, but actually, if we adopt it quickly, one,
mm.
have the title that, oh wow, she's a change. What do you call it? She's the early adapter, and I
Yeah.
can make mistakes, and I can learn. If I fail, also they'll say, look how brave she is to fail and learn, and I would be teaching others, and the same mistake the other person would do after what, 6 months,
Mm.
8 months, and man, I've already done it before you, and yes, I'm a leader here, right? The leader and the follower, we make the same mistakes, but the only thing is, leaders make the mistakes very fast. Thing, right?
That's
We
very
are
good. Very good.
same thing. And
Mm.
that's where I found the change space interesting. And then I heard a lot of friends and people around me that they had this, oh, I don't have local experience and all that. That's when I thought, like, when I quit, there were about 680 odd people, that I was working on the change space from service to sales. Then I thought, yes, I'm well settled in my life. So is this something I was actually like, I thought of booking another home for myself. The contract was almost through and all that. And then I thought, okay, should I be doing this, or I felt it'd be good if my career can take a better purpose, where if I can give hope to people, because my
Mm.
life, that is a big example. Yes, having done all that, and again, we have to fight ourselves, we have to battle, we have to improve ourselves every day, and change is vital. You cannot avoid change, and
Mm.
it's part and parcel of your life. And again, the timing. If you're going to adopt it early or adapt it early, it's good
Mhm.
for you. If not, yes, you'll be a slow coach, and you'll carry all those sorry sob tales, and people will be like, "Oh, poor you." Nah, I
Mm.
don't want sympathy. My mentor always says, "Do you want sympathy or do you want appreciation?" And yes, it is good, to take that. So that's how I landed with MeTV and My World, with the MeWorld, and this is my story. So I know you just asked me only one question, but I just answered for hours together.
But I totally appreciate it. I'll tell you why. Because this is change management full on. uh, I mean, nobody would have imagined an electrical engineer turned AI coding expert, turned a movie actor, turned a PR. I mean, this is amazing. But what I learned from all these reflections of yours is that you are never stopping to experiment something new. And the way you approach failures, of course, you did say that you were emotional about it in certain cases, that you had to cry. But at the same time, you took that as a challenge and to see what is coming out of it. Eh, I liked certain things about what you said, that you were accepting that there are some weaknesses in you, some certain things you don't like, certain kind of work styles you don't like, and certain things do not work well with you. So you were able to accept it also. from this, I'm coming back to a question on a lot of youngsters grow up with the definition of success already. So I have to achieve this. If I have to get into this school, then that's the only goal in life. If I don't do it, then everything is gone. That mindset, does exist. It's good to have an ambition, but I also see that when you're a teenager, you haven't done enough mistakes like we have to know what could be coming up. So that's one. And also, I have noticed even people who are in career, maybe they are in the mid 30s or 40s or 50s, whatever, and struggling to break through because they have, like you said, they find themselves in a place where they do not appreciate so much of what they are doing, or maybe they don't feel appreciated. It's so what do you say to these people that are just thinking there's only one goal in life, or one job, that job, or one higher education, that school is the whole world?
Right. It's actually interesting, question, Gomathi, and very, it is very intense as well. Like when you think about it, because my grandfather, or like my, our people of the older generation, they start in one company, they retire in the same, like 30 years, 40 years. They're in the same spot, and I would say they had that fulfillment, and they actually don't get it, because even in my home, right, they're like, I don't know how I would call you. Like, when people ask what are you doing, I don't know what to say. I'm like, that's okay, don't say anything. And it's fine, because I've been learning music. One day I would sing, and nothing defines us. And for me, having seen my mother's side, like my granddad, like he was a teacher, and yeah, that's what he did his whole life. Like he's 85 now, touch wood, and still he's so passionate about teaching. And one thing I learned in my journey was, no matter what I did, right, communication was the key for me. That was connecting the dots. So I saw, when I talk about music, that is a way of communication. You learn the nuances, and that teaches you a lot of things. So normally what people do is, if I have to be in communication space, I have to work on corporate, I have to work on writing skills. But there are a lot of other nuances, because people are not actually appreciating the fact that multiple things, like you do one thing, but that will teach you, like completely different thing. For example, when I give a concert, when I sing, right, that would teach me one on what kind of message I give to the audience, how to captivate the audience. Like again, it's like your speaking skill, but through singing. Also, when you make a mistake, right, how you quickly come back out of it, and so that people don't even notice. Because when you're in a stage and when you make a mistake, and you can't stop like that saying, yeah, I made a mistake. You just laugh, you just smile. So a lot of things, like you have to find out what you really like. And yes, it is always good to have that one goal, to go completely for it. But if you actually think, if you're open, right, you would go a million times higher than what goal you've set for yourself. But if you are very closed and say, yeah, this is my goal, I want to study at Harvard, I want to do only this, I want to do only that, then life kind of becomes like a destination. Like, yes, I've gone there, and then you don't know what to do after you've gone there. Then you have to set new goals, and because like you are more like this. But if you had like looked around on various things that came your way, then I would say that would lead you to like that journey would be interesting. The people you meet in that journey like would have completely given you a different perspective of life itself. You rediscover yourself if you're open. But there are youngsters, I really appreciate that being completely focused. But after a while, there is no variety in life, and there is this depression factor hitting, because you don't know. Like for me, like I love learning. Like I'm a seeker, so it doesn't matter. Like I feel okay. Yeah, today I had bad day at work. Okay, let me at least ace well in my law preparation. Let me do this. Okay, if my exam like didn't come out well, I've just passed. Okay, fine. I would focus. It's gone. That's fine. And again, right? We are constantly improving. We're not depressed about, oh my god, this was, I didn't do well in my exam. That's it. And then what happens is it takes a lot of time. Like once you go into that mode, right? It takes a lot of time to come out of it. And unfortunately, in today's fast-paced world, you don't have that, moral support or the shoulder where people say it's okay. It's quite hard, and we don't open up too. So we get into like different habits, and we are we have our own thoughts and think, okay, it's not going to happen, it's not good. And always it's quite hard to battle with your own self every time. So have that one goal. If it's not happening, or if it happens, I would say it is boon and bane. Like a lot of times I've thought, like, I wanted to be a pilot, and I really thank God, yes, I didn't become one, because they were in my school. I've never been a leader. I've always thought, oh my god, had I got like one chance of being that school people leader, it never happened. And for the people who were school people leaders, I don't know, they're no way closer, like to the leadership space in
in their
current
real life. Yeah, now, yeah.
life. So it is fine, because sometimes if you get what you actually want, you get satisfied and you think that's pretty much. You don't know what is out there, and it is always nice to not get what you want, so that you would try understanding, okay, what is in there. And I would say my life is a million times more adventurous and interesting than how it would have been had I got my, because I was preparing for my exams like GATE and everything. I wanted to do my ME. I wanted to get into Honeywell or Texas Instruments or somewhere. So had I gone in there, I would have not started my NGO into robotics day. I would have not reached to 500,000 students. And my slogan was, I wanted to break that electronics for boys and embroidery for girls. I'm like, why would you have that stereotype? Like, not that. And girls like pink. Unfortunately, pink is a nice color, but you can't
Yeah.
define saying I'm girls pink. No, I've never played with Barbie doll in my life ever. And there are
Me
certain
neither. Yeah.
things, it's quite interesting, and people have that. So what happens is that one thought, right, that leads to so many beliefs and convictions, that this means this, that means that, right? So they don't stop that. Once you have that one strong ambition, this is what I want to become, then we have that strong beliefs in everything that we see, and we think that is right. So if you're not like that, that is amazing, because normally, inertia, I believe in physics, you have this inertia where once you start doing one thing, it just continues the same pace. So for me, I believe in go with the flow, and anyways, change is bound to happen. And every field teaches you a lot of things. For example, now I'm like studying law. My father-in-law is a Supreme Court lawyer, a criminal lawyer back in India, and I felt if we talk well, it is again, people were like, why are you going to practice law? What are you going to do? And you will not believe, like in my current role, like at MeTV, for every contract, my law education is helping me immensely, because I draft my own contracts. Little did I expect I'll be doing that, because when I joined, I was at Optus. I was in a different company. I wanted to go do law, and I would say education doesn't come with just a degree or with a certification, and it has to be like have that thirst to know. Again, yeah, there are people like, why do I want to know it? It's fair enough. You don't have to know everything, right? Do what you like, because the midlife crisis, all that hits, because you completely feel, who am I? I'm not this person. I had a different passion, but what am I doing? So you're not close to yourself. So I feel when we do work, which doesn't sound like work, but it's like going for a play, and oh my god, did 10 hours just fly by? Your work should be like that, not like, oh my god, 50 minutes, it feels like 10 hours. How am I going to, spend the rest
Get
of my
through
day?
the day. Yeah. I think a lot of people are when they say, "Oh, thank God it's Friday." It's a.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
I was one of them, so I I sensed it, I sensed, why do I say that? Why do I earn for a break when I most, what I did? And that's where the thought process came. I'm just reflecting on what you said, it doesn't feel like work. There's no Saturdays, Sundays, but it's fine. It's just because you're living that.
Absolutely.
I want to play the devil's advocate now. I love this, whatever you said. I'm totally into it. But there are people that will say, hey, you may be so okay to jump into different things and try. I also want to do that, but I have responsibilities. I have a huge housing loan, or I have a family to take care of, or somebody ailing take care of. So there are so many. Sometimes it's not the person, it's the responsibilities or the surroundings of a person that says it buckles me down and I'm not able to make a move.
Right.
Them.
So I would say I had situations, for myself as well. Like I had to pay my education loan. Then, I was like more self-made person. Like right from my marriage to everything, like I had to do it myself. And it is quite tricky because sometimes like people think, oh, passion is a different thing, and money, following money is a different thing. So I would say the trick is to make them meet. And yes, always it's not too easy because like our daily task itself, completely eats all our time. That's what we think. But one of my close friends, like, he's an educationalist. He's a, he runs like multiple businesses. So one thing, he told me was everyone writes a to-do list, but it's also important to write not to-do list. So how many of us have thought about it? Because we always think we are time poor. But I made this as an experiment, and people used to laugh at me like, hey, come on, you're going to have this burn. My husband used to say you're going to have this burnout and whatnot. And what I realized was I wanted to really push myself to test how much time I have. So what I did, or what I'm currently doing, I would say, is I work full time. And I study law. That is a part-time law. But, law is like, there's lots to study. And become the board leader, like the student board leader. I've taken up that opportunity, that challenge to connect all the law societies in here. And recently, I've been part of Hornsby Chamber of Commerce. So this is a 103-year-old Chamber of Commerce. And I'm the only Indian in the executive board. So that is again to highlight work on it. I've taken that. And my music class, I have 2 gurus where I learn. And I like reading apart from that. And I ensure I cook every day. I spend time with my husband. And people are like, seriously, you're kidding. So what I do is I have, I take a notebook, or I have an app actually. I'm not promoting any app by the way, but I don't even know. I have an app where like every day, like, it's a checker box kind of a thing. Like we do to-dos every day, and I tick it up. Okay, have I done it? Oh yes. It can be 10 minutes. It can be 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be like for 3 hours, 4 hours. No, I make it a discipline to, if I have to study law, if I have to study a subject, I will do it today. If I have to do my music every day, like that compounding effect, right? Just do that. Read that 5 pages today. Then nothing. So it really helps. It is super helpful. And to answer the question, situations are different. Like, what do people do? What are we doing with the time that we have? Like, that is one, very important thing to reflect on. Because we all say, yeah, we're super busy. No, we're not busy. What are we busy at? Like, we suddenly watch something in Facebook and 1 hour is gone. So you do call yourself busy. Like I'm in the media space and I don't spend that much time. Like I'm very conscious, right? I'll be like, I know this is a level. I know this will eat my time up. So quickly, I'll just check if my team has posted like all the content for my clients, for myself, 10 minutes. And I will have certain time set to watch what is trending in social media because that's my bread and butter. That's what I do. people normally do is they just browse all, hi, dubbing, dub, smash, achai, like this is good, that is good. It is not a bad thing. But again,
No.
if you want to get from one position to the other, you should have that discipline. And you can't complain that you don't have time. Definitely, we have time. And we have to work. So, not to do list is really helpful. And while you're working somewhere, stretch yourself like 2 hours. And again, like if you're passionate about something, right, you can make time and start, sharpening the skills. Start sharpening the axis because
Mm.
again, there is nothing called a perfect atmosphere, perfect situation. Like there's always, I don't know, like if you have money, if you have so much money, you will not have enough time, or you will be scared to lose it, or you will not have the
Mm.
right people. You always have one thing over the other, and always there is passion. Like when there is passion, there is no enough money, and people
Mm.
try to meet that and try to hustle and try to yeah, make ends meet. So there is nothing called perfect. That's what I believe. Like I said, sometimes you have to bite the bullet and wait. Things will not happen because we kind of like, you can't have one leg in one boat, another leg in another boat, and you can't do that, right? It's okay, take your leg off. And definitely if you have that passion, things will happen. You don't know who you
Yeah.
will meet, you don't know how things will change.
No.
I've experienced it because the things
Mm.
that I really hate the most are like, I will not do it. I just find joy in doing it because I just let go. Like it's fine. You don't have to hold on to it. This is the thing. If you don't like it, don't do it. So
Mm.
that it might sound like, yeah, she's eccentric, but no, I was a very conservative person too, and but sometimes it just gives you disappointment. It makes you cry. It makes you feel, oh my god, what am I doing? And it's hard. So it is better to at least you would know even if you fail. See, anyways, if your destiny is you're
Mm.
bound to fail, you're going to fail. At least you will have some
Mm.
lessons, and you can be a guru telling that, yeah, I failed this way. We can make money. Making is not a problem these days because you could make money anyway. With your failures, that is the best way of making money because you fail so many times. You could share that with others and make more money. You could be a life coach, you could be a business coach, saying these are my failure tips, right? At least fail for that. You would now you'll have to pay heads after, and you would be amazing, guru. So
That's a very, very interesting answer. You did touch upon COVID. I was also going to come to that. So the COVID time did put us all in a backstep. Um, Most of us, have endured some sort of challenge, either physically, mentally, or both, or some have also lost their loved ones. So it's been a tough time. How has it been for you? How is it affecting your work life? So,
it has been really tough. Life is not rosy, definitely not. And even in rose, there are thorns. So
mm-hmm,
with COVID, I lost my mother-in-law, but not because of COVID though. Like she's another, I would say, iron lady in our family. Very
mm,
first person to be a graduate, like not first women graduate, but just first graduate in her family. And she worked for a
mm,
bank. She had paralysis for about 10 years, and she used to cook with her left hand, go to work, come home, and do share trading. And I'm like, me and finance, we're opposite poles. Yes, I do attract money, but
mm,
I don't know how to manage them, and it's coding, it's challenging. And I just love her grit. I love her determination. And 15 years ago, she wanted to start a packaging industry, which is nothing but your Amazon, your Flipkart, and that was
um,
the vision that she had. And again, right, we don't follow our heart. We think, no, maybe not required. And but yeah, I lost her, and we couldn't travel to India. And I was super connected with her. Like we used to chat a lot, and we got so close, and that was a big blow. We couldn't travel, and COVID has been like an unexpected, like at least in Harry Potter, like we see these Dementors. You see Dementors and all that. Here it is like it is like, yeah, there are Dementors, but you can't see them. It is really like, oh my God, where are they? Can they be here? Can they be there? Where are they? Right? They're everywhere. They're like God. They're omnipotent, but not in a positive way, but in a negative way, right? Taking life. And it's a really tough time
Mm.
on personal note. Yeah, these are I lost like few friends, like few close ones as well. We couldn't travel, and that's crazy. And that's actually,
Mm.
it gives you the reflection that when your time comes, no matter what, whether it's a COVID or it can be anything, when your time comes, you need to go. So what you do with the time that you have, because each one's time is different, so you have to be wise, like every day. Like of late, what I feel is, there are so many people longing to have that opportunity. If
Mm.
they had that opportunity to study, if they had that, good shelter, if they had that, you know, so many ifs, if they had. And I feel when we are fortunate, when we have everything, we have internet, like what not, we have everything. And if we still keep whinging, then we really have to count our blessings and name them one by one. That's very important. And what are we doing with that? Because there is this beautiful story where God gave seeds to people, and asked them to bring it back again. There was one person having it, just keeping it safe, praying. There was another person who ate it all and said, yeah, it was good. And there was another person who sowed it and brought like multitudes of it. So it's like that. Like God has given that talent. Like we definitely, every single one of us, like if see, if a virus can be that potent, come on, we are made of so many cells, right? Like what all we could do. Talking about here, like one virus mutates itself. That is change again. If that virus was itself, we wouldn't have this Omicron at all, right? It mutates. Like if a virus can change, if we can adapt to the change and be that catalyst of change, and it's spoiling my trip to India now. I can't even believe it. If a virus that I can't even see can do that, come on, we are beautiful, we have brains, we can dress up well, we could do enormous things, but we refuse to do it. And that is something we have to think about. We have to reflect during COVID
Mm.
time. So with COVID, without COVID, yes, things are very tough with COVID. We can't do physical events. So many businesses, right? They found it hard. Few have thrived, few have completely, been washed off. But I would say you have your learnings. It doesn't matter, because you started something, and yes, maybe you would have been washed out, or things would have not turned out well because of your money perspective. But with your
Mm.
learning perspective, with what you learned with the trade, right? That cannot be washed off. Nothing can take that away. And
Mm.
it's like we treat money as, yes, it is important. Yes, we have to pay our mortgage, and you have two people working. If you don't have, that's fine. You could figure out what are the sources of income, what all you could do. I would be surprised, like when I was a kid, if someone told me, if I make my own videos and if I can earn like $100,000, I'll be like, what, are you kidding me? Who will see my face? But look at YouTube. It's what people
Mm.
do, right? They cook and they earn money. Like they just follow their passion. And again, if you look at it, they just don't cook. They Cooking is one activity, but they've also learned, taken that extra step to adapt. They've adapted that change. How should I present it? What else should I do? And it's all
Mm.
like, we always want things perfect. The first
Mm.
show should be perfect. It should be like a Oprah Winfrey show. Never.
No.
My first was a disaster. I've done 700 now. I told you, like my mentor, like he could have been like, what are you doing? I was supposed to hold the laptop, and it ended up that the chief guest was holding the laptop and I was pressing the button, and it is a disaster. But that's fine. Start. Don't show up every day. Do things every day, because the power of doing things repeatedly is really undermined, because people like the stars, they like the success that they see, they just adore that, oh wow, they've reached great heights. But people fail to see how much they worked hard, how much they sacrificed, and what is the thought process behind it. That's
They
something
find it. Yes.
completely. It is, because even with kids, like we have our global singing competition that's happening, and again, that's a very interesting story, because before COVID, we used to have physical events happening in Melbourne, and yeah, that was interesting. But after COVID, we're like, okay, what do we do? Like, we can't do physical events. It's very uncertain. It's a third season for us. So we felt, okay, let's do it online. Then we thought, if we do it online, why keep only with Australia? Like, let's do other parts of the world. And then we thought, every other year it has been Hindi. Then we thought, if it's online, it might as well be all other languages. Why are we restricting languages? All Indian languages. Then English as well. Why not? And then we ended up with, okay, the age group. We made it into 4 categories: 6 to 14, 15 to 23, 24 to 40, and 40 plus, maybe till 110. If you're as lucky as my great grandmom's mom to live, we could participate too, right? So I would say dare to experiment, and now I would say we are the first ever to do this, and with our magazine.
Okay.
Little did I know I'm editor-in-chief, because my mentor, he would be write articles, I'll be like, oh, very reluctantly I will write, he will correct, he'll give corrections, and some of them actually really sit well in place, and he'll be like, see how beautifully you're writing, if you put more efforts you will do much better. And I'm like, it's not my profession, why would I do it? I really don't want to do it. I told that about years ago, but now I'm editor-in-chief of a magazine, and my mentor's shell shocked, and he's like, look at the way how you're writing things. And the thing that we learn, at the moment, we don't know, it might not make sense to us immediately, but I never imagined, I would do this 8 years later, I would be editor-in-chief of a magazine, or media would be my bread and butter. I never thought about it. I'm a very camera shy person. Things, now it's COVID, tomorrow it can be anything. It can be personal, it can be society based, it can be your entire economy based, world based, like demonetization, a lot of things, Brexit, zillion things happen. But keep challenging yourself, have that grit, and again, nothing is called a failure. There's nothing that we lose. It's fine. Money, if it, treat money as just the money, it's a component. It's not everything. It's not your respect. It's not your learning. Normally, people associate money to as a human being. Oh, money is my loved one. No, money is it's to buy things. That's it. And don't give much more respect to money than that. So that's what I would say. Whether COVID or no COVID, this is my learning.
Interesting. Now for some questions, on career, your suggestions to how does one go about identifying a career path?
I would be the wrong person answering this because multiple pieces. But again, for me, I felt my passion was communication. Like wherever I go, I find, how do I communicate this message? How do I render it? So how do I make it more fun? So identify what you're good at and what interests you. Because I have that flair of understanding, like I love languages too. And again, everything is communication. So whatever, one really likes, again, it should not be TGIF. Nah. Whenever you have that moment, thank God it's Friday, please quit whatever you're doing and it's time for you to figure out. It can be anything. Because after a point, you will have money, but you will feel, what am I doing? I really don't like it. So that'll be my career advice, or not advice, because I've always enjoyed what I'm doing and still I'm stuck to my school days or college days. I'm not able to come out of it.
It's good. So what do you say when we have picked up something to go for? And I know from your experience what you have shared that sometimes you have also picked some challenging roles that you have not been interested in. So what do you say that one should be aware of, the key challenges that we could anticipate when you pick something new, go for some change?
I would say we should stick to our core principles, because there are things that you would not want, you would not like to do. And if a job wants that, right, then you will not like that job either. And because you've made a career decision, that's core. Like for me, ethics has been a very key thing. So when I say ethics, I would say how my trade started, right? The Robotics Artificial Intelligence Foundation started because of I was at Simple Labs, another place I used to train people into coding and all that. So I came to another place to, I like teaching basically. I like talking. Again, everything connects to communication for me. So whether teaching, to anything that has to do with talking or communicating. So when I had this opportunity of being a database trainer, I was like, okay, cool, let me do it. And then after that, my MD found that I had passion for electronics. So he said, you've already done teaching in electronics. Like, would you like to carry on with that teaching? And I was very clear, whatever I learned was from another company. It is their USP. And I am not going to take that. I'm not going to do it. Yes, I love teaching. I'm not going to do it. And he's like, but why not? But you were teaching. I said, but I didn't create the curriculum and I'm not going to do it. I was very strict. They were like, there was 1 week of discussion. It is good for you to do it. And, you've really trained like about 200, 300 people. I used to train 9 hours a day. And I said, it is back of you, though it is, at the back of my head, all the coding, everything. I know where to procure things and that, but it's not ethical. That is not ethics. And I don't want to start something like that. Because I was very strong to that belief. I ended up starting a NGO into robotics AI, having giants, you name it, ISRO, the DRDO, the US consulate, anybody, you name it, they were there in that advisory board. And many assumed, they thought when I called them, I said, I'm the president, I would like to meet. They thought I would be a 50-year-old, but to their disappointment, I was not. So I would say stick to that principle. It doesn't matter. We will have all challenging situations. Even when you experiment, when you go to a different territory, you try to experiment and stuff, you have your core principles and never compromise your core principles, because you will not enjoy. After a while, you would feel, because you don't enjoy, you can't give your best. Because you don't give your best, you'll be labeled as not the right person. And then you have a stamp telling you're good for nothing. And you carry that label, you have to fight. You know my story. Don't end up, being me.
Awesome. This has been an amazing interview, Sukruti. I think it's a lot for somebody that is listening to you to process, but I also see the point that there's so much to explore in life that one can try, and I think you have inspired people in that way. What do you do with the MeTV now? How does one watch, or what does one watch, or the magazines? What is the content all about?
So with the MeWorld app, I would say, so it is a global OTT platform, and it is connected. It is started to connect all the communities globally, because we do promote movies. That is exciting. Right? So we have all the Indian movies, all kind of movies like Bollywood, Hollywood. We promote them. We have interviews with the stars. That is exciting. But one thing I realized was, if you have to change people's life, if you want to inspire people, that can be done by sharing the stories of people who are commoners, who are normal people. Because stars different problems to handle altogether. Their challenges is totally different to a normal person's day-to-day challenge. People can't relate to. I can ask a zillion questions to all these celebrities, but we as common people, waking up every day, normal household chores, cooking at home, stars, I'm not sure if they would be cooking at home. They have different things to, actually worry about and do things, right? So on that note, I would say with MeTV, we like to create celebrities, and everyone, people just need that opportunity. And through our media, if we are able to give that opportunity, shout out the businesses people are doing, highlight all the talents that people have. Because one is singing. I wouldn't say anything bad about it, because it's been going on, it's the 3rd edition. But for me, apart from arts, I would like to do programs for professionals. And professional, we don't have shows. Normally we have Big Boss. I've never watched Big Boss. Recently, when I was in my boss's place, I just watched it and I was like, oh, okay, but this is fine, but we could do something for the professionals. Because people in cinema, they feel appreciated. People in our field, they feel appreciated. But why not professionals?
Mm-mm.
Different sectors. No, they have no shows.
Yeah.
They have, it's mundane. They go to work.
Monday to
They,
Friday. Yep.
right. They know that something is paying their bill. So if I'm able to change that scenario, make it exciting for professionals. Again, yeah, things are in talks, so we would be
Mm-hmm.
partnering with few people around the world, and this would mainly be for sharing the best practices,
Mm-hmm.
because we never know like where we get that inspiration from, and we get it from common people. So let's find them. It is a mammoth task, but
Yeah.
tasks bores me. I like to do like find the toughest one. That is good. So that is, we have like all these projects in pipeline for us that happens, and
Awesome.
it's the causes that people care for, because that's another thing. There are so many causes in the world, and it's just that other people need to know as well that there are these causes. So these are the things that MeTV highlights. And with the magazine, yes, we normally put it in our social media, and excited to say again, here we brought first time ever scenario where while you're reading the magazine, the video would automatically be played. It's not like it goes to another window anywhere. So simultaneously being played, and you can read stuff. Because I felt, being from technology space, right, you have to bring that technology touch. So everything is helping, Gomathi. It's not like, because I've been into technology space, I'm not afraid to explore. I know what is in there. I've done the coding, I've done stuff, I've reached out. So I'm not scared to explore that again and bring something new in a different field. So many people think, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. And I would say, if it makes sense to you, I will no longer be. So I started, initially it was hard for me. I used to feel bad that, oh my God, people can't understand it. Maybe I'm doing wrong. Then it took a lot of time, a lot of courage to say, hey, leaders are always like, okay, I don't proclaim myself as a leader here though, but still, right? You have a different thought and it works. And it gives that, oh, I didn't think about it, feel to other people. And I'm like, I'm happy, I'll take it.
Super good. This has been an awesome interview. Time is flying by, but is there anything else that you felt you had to say but you couldn't? If you want to say something else as well.
Might bring me, don't hold back. And yes, one thing I would say is, don't hold back. And again, whether it's your personal or whether it is work, you need to have that strong passion. And again, you would find that passion, if you love the people that you work with, and that's very important, to have that right culture. So whether you're in a leadership spot, if you're watching it, like I know people from different walks would be watching it. So creating that. For me, my success at Optus or anywhere, right? Because when I was running my NGO, initially it was just me, my co-founder, and we had to be hustlers. We had to do it. I used to travel from to about 12, 13 different cities in India, completely a tour from south to north. So all this was possible because of making people around me feel valued. They were all volunteers. Still, they were like, they saw the cost. They saw that, okay, there's something, that I would get out of it. So making people around you feel valued is the key. And it doesn't matter which job it is. It really doesn't matter. Like you could be filling petrol in a bunk, because everything, without fuel, your car is not going to go, right? So don't give respect based on which position a person is. Like, you never know. Like for me, I was running my NGO, I was at the United Nations, I was doing all that, and for some reason I had to be in a call center job. So a call center job doesn't define me. And if you ask me, I can give you all the contacts of all the who's who, right? So don't and you never know, right? Things would change, and the same person, they might meet just one person. So always, life changes. Just that one person. If you meet that one person, the life completely revolves. So you don't know when you're going to meet that person, or you don't know when you're going to encounter that incident. So don't judge people on what they're currently doing or what they've done in the past, or it's very easy to get judgmental, and you never know. Always have that comradeship, and have a healthy bond, because those bonds, those memories actually come to your rescue. You never know when. or not
Mm.
even met you. Like, maybe you might not meet them again, but when you do certain things, you will think about those people and say, wow, yeah, I remember this. Definitely, this is one of those things, Gomti. It's not that I'm bidding you goodbye, but I will remember that, yeah, I had this chat with Gomathi, and it's nice. Like, you have to create occasions to celebrate life. Like, you
Mm.
don't have a Santa coming and
Mm.
sprinkling magic powder and say, ta-da, your life has changed. No, it doesn't happen. For God's sake, that is all not real. If you bury your teeth under your pillow, you'll only have ants. You're not going to have presents coming in. My mom thought, yeah, you'll have presents, and no, you'll only have ants. You'll have all insects and everything. So, you know, we should celebrate life. We should create that excitement every day. Like, wake up with excitement. It is hard. I talk all this, but I'll feel like,
Mm.
oh, but that's okay. Find something that motivates you. Like, I would
Mm.
feel if I don't want to wake out of bed, I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll have hot chocolate if I wake out of bed early. And find something, just give that golden carrot to yourself. And, mind is a monkey. It really is. So it really doesn't know what it wants. So by end of the day, there should be progress every day. Do something consistently, and there will be progress. That's pretty much from my end. I can go on, but yeah,
Thank you very much, Sukruti. It's been a pleasure. Have a nice day.
thank you, Gomathi, and wish you good luck with this lovely series. And I wish to see hundreds more.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas once again. Bye.
Yes. Yeah. Bye. This has been a fun episode with Sukruti, getting to understand the kind of experimenting that she's been doing with her personal and career lives. Thanks to her, and wish her good luck with all her future endeavors, whatever that may be. There is something very interesting that we can understand from her story. There's nothing really stopping us, isn't it? It's just about us facing our fears and experimenting to just figure out who we can be, what we can be, or what we could do. If you're liking more of such episodes, please do share your comments. That's exactly how we are trying to understand each other and growing this global community of change makers. Signing off from the GLAC studio, this is Gomathi Sankaran. Bye bye.